I'm not starting off with any music today, and it's not any bells and whistles because not to say that all the rest of my videos don't be serious, but this is more so like a venting video. This is the end of the month of Petty, and so it's 2:01, and I'm just on a smoothie here. That's what I'm drinking now. It is beets, pineapples, banana, turmeric, ginger, and water, and some cinnamon. So this is all I've had so far. Um, I want to talk about why I struggle with the binary. Um, so we live in a binary system, and I'm giving you my understanding of the binary. I'm not giving you like a textbook definition. So, like, if you want to go Google and see what Massa said, then go and do that. But I'm just going to tell you my understanding of the binary as I have experienced it. So the binary is this two sides, male, female, man, woman, and we live in a binary society. When you go into the bathroom, it says the men's bathroom, it says the women's bathroom. There's the men's locker room and the women's locker room. There's like we just live in a society that is binary. So there are structures put in place to house these thoughts or ideas about beings who exist within the binary. So on this end, women have certain people who subscribe or identify with the construct of womanhood. There's certain guidelines and rules that come into place with that. And let's be clear, having a vagina does not make you a woman. However, there are certain experiences that beings who have vaginas can relate to that fall up under the construct of womanhood. I'm going to put it like that. So, and many times beings who have vaginas relate to the construct of womanhood. But again, having a vagina does not make you a woman, because everyone who has a vagina does not see themselves as a woman. Everyone who has a vagina does not subscribe to the construct of womanhood or identify with the construct of womanhood. So it's safe to say that having a vagina does not make you a woman, just like having a penis doesn't make you a man, because being a man, which is the abbreviation of the manifestation, because then this is when we start talking about constructs. A manifestation does not have a construct. But in order to control something, or in order to seize power or have power over something, you have to create a construct in order to control manifestations. So, when we think of a manifestation, we think of something that has this limitless capacity to do anything, to go anywhere, to say anything. And so in order to control this manifestation, you have to create this construct to house it, in order to be able to manipulate it and control it. So these constructs were created by those in power, our oppressors, to gain control over these womb manifestations, which is the full identity of the being that is born with the womb, of the being that is born with the capacity to carry life inside of them. So the construct of womanhood and the construct of manhood was created to control. I mean, I'm trying to think of a nicer way to say it, but there's no other way I can put it. The constructs of manhood and womanhood were created to control womb manifestations and manifestations. We don't want this manifestation to be able to, move in all these different ways and to be able to say all of these different things and to be able to act in these different ways. So we have to find a way to guide these sheep the way that we want them to go. So we need to create these overarching constructs so that we can control the populace. There are going to be people who reject these constructs. There are going to be people who's not going to fall into these constructs, and they will be collateral damage. They will be just basically collateral damage, basically casualties. Like you rejected, you look like the bad guy because you reject the construct. You will look like you're crazy or you're delusional or something's wrong with you because you rejected the construct. Hey, Petrina. Yeah, so Petrina, you will look like it's something wrong with you because you're rejecting these constructs. Okay. Now, I struggle with the binary, and I've been very, very verbal about this, very clear about this. And a lot of my trans sisters and a lot of my trans brothers who are in power, they subscribe to the binary. And subscribing to the binary has helped them to advance because the gatekeepers and the ones who are calling the shots in society, they don't want the binary to fall apart. They don't want to live in a world that is not governed by the binary, where those in power do not reason, do not navigate in a way that is not governed by binary thinking. You have to be someone, and this is the crazy part about that for me, is that a lot of trans people, and I know personally because I know a lot of trans people are not binary thinkers. A lot of trans people use both sides of their brain. A lot of trans people think both masculine and feminine, but they will try to manipulate the conversation and make it look like everything that they're saying is coming from one side. Like, I'm a woman, so everything that I'm saying is coming from the perspective of a woman. Or I'm a man, so everything that I'm saying is coming from the perspective of a man. But really, it's coming from both places. But strategically, you're only acknowledging it coming from one side because you don't want to confuse people. This whole conversation is confusing for a lot of people because a lot of beings who are in the community refuse to have it. And so many people don't have the threshold to navigate this. See, a lot of people in my community, they don't want to have this conversation because while this conversation is going on, everybody else getting their bag. Everybody else is making money off of the constructs. The construct. Everybody making money off of the conversation, off of the construct. It's a con. Everybody out here conning folk. So it's a whole con going on. It's a whole con game. But y'all want to condemn convicts. But y'all got conversations. You're signing contracts. You're subscribing to the construct. Y'all the biggest con artists it is. But you want to condemn a convict, a career criminal. Y'all career criminals. Because many of you are subscribing to the very thing that is holding future generations hostage. The binary is rooted in patriarchy. It's rooted in patriarchy. It's rooted in this idea that men or those who subscribe to the construct of manhood are somehow more favored, more privileged than women. It's rooted in that. It's rooted in this idea that women shouldn't be allowed to say certain things and behave in certain ways and wear certain things. It's rooted in the idea that women should be policed in the way that they communicate, are beings who identify with their foremothers more so than their forefathers. It's rooted in this idea that I need to be more modest and more humble and more graceful, because those are the attributes that are so supposed to be associated with my identity under the construct of womanhood, under this con game of being a woman. Because at the end of the day, being a woman is a performance. Being a man is a performance. These are things that we are taught and groomed to be through society. I am a being. As far as I know, I was born XY. I haven't done any in-depth research, but I'm a being. I am of the humankind in this particular form, in this particular creation. And in order to exist under the construct of womanhood, there are certain things and certain guidelines that I must adhere to. But I'm more than that. I'm more than that construct. I'm more than the construct of manhood. I'm more than that. I don't fit into either of those boxes perfectly, but I do think that I fit into the construct of womanhood a little bit more, because I'm often received as a woman before anything. And this was before I went and got titties. This was before I went and got my hips done. This was before I started taking hormones. I always was getting cis. I always was getting her, fish. I always was getting called things that made the connection with being a woman. I've always been that person that was getting associated with the construct of womanhood. And I think the reason why womanhood was the construct that I fell into is because womanhood has it has a bigger space. Manhood, it's a tighter space, because in order to be in control of something, you have to be willing to sacrifice more, I'm guessing. You have boundaries for yourself. You have to set up more barriers. You have to sacrifice more in order to be on top. So, women are given this extra space to move around and to be free simply because they're not meant to lead in this particular paradigm. They're given this extra leeway and this extra grace to kind of like go out to color outside of the lines, because hey, you ain't gonna never be, like how we give the grace to children, how you let a child give child grace and let a child, you ain't running nothing but your mouth. So you can go ahead and get away with this and do all this stuff, but you ain't running nothing. So go ahead and color out the lines. Go ahead and not follow script all the time. It's okay if you notice, it's okay for women to wear pants, but the moment a man put on a dress, it's a problem. It's okay for a woman to look like a stud, but the moment a man dress up like a woman, it's the feminizing of the black man. But women can dress butch and wear boy clothes all the time, but there's not a big, and the reason why is because, patriarchy. We don't mind her doing these things because that is her still giving glory to the Father. But when a man celebrates his foremothers, it's the effeminization of the black man. Like, I be listening to Armand Wiggins sometimes, and I commend him for being so driven. I commend him for his work ethic. I commend him for the way that he communicates and the way that he speaks. There's so many positive things that I could say about Armand, but that's a small box to be in, baby. Like when he be saying certain things, it's like, baby, just let your hair down, baby. Just let it go. Like breathe. Fuck. Because and I've said this before in another video, it's like gay men are the ones who really, 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 really like enforce patriarchy. Like gay white men, gay black men, like these are the front runners. Like gay men be more invested in patriarchy than motherfucking straight men be invested in patriarchy. Like gay men be invested in it. It's like, I didn't put on a wig, I didn't wear a dress, I didn't do all of these things so that I can have power over the rest of y'all. I don't care if I'm gay. I don't care if I love penis in my behind. I don't care if I love Dookie Love. Respect me because I still identify as a man. I'm still superior to you because I still identify as a man. I'm still maneuvering in this construct. I don't give a care if I eat penis from sun up to sundown. I identify as a man, so somehow I'm still better than you. I still identify with the construct of manhood, so somehow I'm still better than you. I can get on Grindr and get on all the sex apps and play around in wigs and put on dresses to try to pluck a man in the veil of night. But when the daytime comes, in that great getting up morning, I'm going to put on the monkey suit, the tie. I'm going to play the game how it's supposed to go and pretend that I am 100% he, because he is the truth. He is so real, and I love the way he makes me feel. How? How? Because I am doing that, I need you to respect me. But this is all performance. And what I'm really starting to figure out is gay men actually set the tone for what manhood is. It's not straight it's not straight men who are really coming up with this. Because if you ever really dealt with a real straight man, if you ever really dealt with a real straight man, not a straight man who has been brainwashed, not a straight man who is institutionalized, but if you've really dealt with a heterosexual man before, you will notice that a lot of heterosexual men are comfortable with their feminine side naturally. If you've ever really been with a straight man before, because homo thug culture, the whole homo thug community, it was built up by these men who were subscribing to what mainstream was telling them. When we look at all of these artists with these saggy pants and these gold chains and these hats to the back, all of this has to do with the prison system and all of these institutions that tell these men how to be men. And a lot of times it's a closet gay man who is pulling the puppet string somewhere, telling you how to be a man, telling you how to act, telling you how to be a man. It's a man who does not even desire to be with women that is telling you how to be a man. This is how it's going a lot of times. I'm telling you, this is how it's going. It's often gay men. If you just break it down, these are the ones who's telling men how to be men and telling women how to be women. This nation was founded by a bunch of homosexuals. This nation was founded by a bunch of wealthy homosexual men that married women for affront. But deep down inside, they were homosexual. So when we start talking about who the patriarch is, we have to understand that the patriarch is not even a heterosexual man. It's not even a heterosexual man. Because the gay man has always felt insecure. He's always felt inferior because of his desire to be with another man. And then there's a whole nother way to look at this. A lot of times he don't feel inferior, he feels superior. That's why he want another man. That's why he think that women are beneath him. And the Bible validates it. The Bible is written in such a way that's so demeaning to women. I remember one time I was listening. I went to seminary school in 2008, Beulah Heights University. And I heard Dr. Renina Weems, who was one of the first Black women to get a PhD for Old Testament literature. So she was speaking in defense of gay people. And she said, she asked the women to raise their hand if they didn't agree with homosexuality. And women all over the room, Black women, were raising their hands speaking against homosexuality. Dr. Renina Weems said, I find it particularly odious when I see women raising their hands to speak against homosexuality when it's about a few scriptures in the Bible that speak against homosexuality, but the whole book is telling you to shut up. It's 200 and something verses, 200 and something scriptures that's telling women to shut up. The whole Bible telling you to shut up, but you gonna judge somebody for being homosexual. The whole Bible was written to put you in your place. They say King James was gay and had a gay lover. So when we talk about the patriarchy, we have to realize that a lot of times we are not addressing men who are bisexual or men who are heterosexual. We're addressing men who have become lovers of themselves, so much so that they think that the vagina is disgusting. The very portal that had to open in order for you to come here. That's why now we have men who trying to get pregnant because they want to X coochie out completely. They don't want nothing to do with that one-eyed monkey. They don't want nothing to do with it. We could live in a world, if we could live in a world with no vaginas, they would be happy. That's why they working now. See, trans women are going to benefit from getting pregnant, but that surgery wasn't created. They wasn't thinking about you when they created this. This wasn't for you to benefit. Trans women are going to benefit, but the idea that males are going to be able to carry babies, oh no, it's not for you. This wasn't created for you, boo. They don't love you that much. They don't care about you that much. This is for men, because there are some men who despise. And on the other side of that, there's some women who despise penis. And the crazy thing is that a lot of those women who despise penis think just like men. So it's like in my line when I say, life is a roller coaster, be ready for the game. When I say, black lightning keeps the whiteness supreme, because once the black is lightened, then they both the same thing. Pretty much, they got some women who hate men so much and hate penis so much that they act like men. They act like the patriarch. They act just like their fathers. They act just like their forefathers. Ain't nothing feminine about you. Ain't nothing compassionate. Ain't nothing empathetic about you. Ain't nothing sensitive about you. Ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? You don't know how to submit. Everything is force. Everything is brute force. Everything is take the kingdom by force. So you done became the same man that you can't stand. You just a man with a clit. A halfling. This is why I don't subscribe to the binary. Like when I'm maneuvering in society, I'm not going to stop people from calling me a woman. I'm not going to stop people from calling me she. Because that's what people see for the most part. Why I'm going to argue with you down? Whoa, man, the feminine, the masculine. She, you take the S off, you get E. I don't trip because I think it's a way to express my wholeness. But I am whole. And I tell that to anybody that I deal with. I don't try to pretend. I don't try to diminish myself. I don't try to, like I told y'all the other day, a dude said, you sound like a man. I said, I got a daddy. You sound like a man right now. Okay. And why you got facial hair? Because I have forefathers. Not playing this game with y'all. Did you catch the meeting on C-SPAN the other day with Maxine Waters? No, I didn't see that. Can we talk about how drag queens are dressing like trans women and putting trans women lives in danger? Child. Child. But see, this ain't even like, this was the whole point of all that. That's why I said that the trans community it's a Trojan horse, because we're not doing the work to create our own identities. These men, these gay men, like I hear T.S. Madison, I hear girls from the ballroom scene. Again, Armand, because this is somebody who I follow. I don't really follow Maddie like that, but you know, when Maddie pop up on somebody's site that I listen to, or when she pop up on somebody's show that I listen to. Now, I did go and listen to what she said about Chaka Khan, and I already knew what she was gonna give, and I got triggered. But when I listen to, you know, there's this running theme of heterosexual people want to steal our lingo, but what, I mean, like, isn't our whole dialect based in what heterosexual people said? Now, because heterosexual people done picked up a couple of words from us, now we supposed to be mad at them? Like, isn't our whole language that we speak, wasn't it created by heterosexual people? Wasn't it created by European heterosexual people? Like, okay, so we're trading language, okay, and but when we start talking about women copying the trans look, are they copying? Females aren't copying the trans look. Gay men have been behind the scenes forever, shaping the looks. They, like, a lot of gay people chose to be behind the scenes. And this is what layman people don't understand coming into this. When you're in front of the camera, many times you are the puppet. You are being told what to say. You're being told what to share. You're being told how to dress. You're being told how, to present. You're being told how you're being branded. The people that you don't see are many times the people who have the power. In politics, the people that we see on the mic talking and the people that we see speaking, they are puppets for the people who are behind the scenes. They are the agent, the person that was sent to represent the ones who don't have to show their face. The ones, so when we start talking about gay people being behind the scenes and gay people being slaves and gay people, having to be the servants, like, that whole narrative has always been a side eye for me, because the most powerful people, literally, I don't need to get in front of the camera. What I need to show my face for? What I need to be seen for, sweetheart? I'm coined. I don't need to get on camera and tap dance for none of y'all. It's not, the power is not being in front of the camera. The power is, if you notice, a lot of actors and actresses, when they get on in their career, they don't want to be in front of the camera. They want to direct. They want to write. They want to tell you what to do. They want to write down the words for you to say. But we have so many gay and trans people who think that the power is in being seen. No, the power is in directing and writing the stories. That's the power. And that's what gay and queer people have been doing. We've been writing the stories for this reality. We've been dressing people and telling people how to look and what to say. We've been doing that. That's not being the help. Now the girls want to be in front of the camera and behind the camera. The girls want to be everywhere. The gay men want to be everywhere. But for so long, they were writing these scripts. They were writing these heterosexual scripts. They were writing all of these stories in this way. How many gay men that wrote a song, and we knew they was talking about a man in the song, but he kept saying, "Girl, I love you. Girl, baby girl. You know I love you, baby girl." You know he was talking about a damn man in that song. You know he was talking about he wanted a man. But when he wrote that song for a woman. So I just, like, when we get caught up in this whole narrative of gay people being the help, trans people being the help, being behind the scenes, child, that's not being the help. That's not being a slave. Just admit that you want to be seen. Just admit that maybe you're not talented enough to write a script. Just admit that maybe you don't have the type of you don't have the capacity to direct a show. Just admit that you don't have those type of gifts. Admit that your gift is being seen. Your gift is running your mouth. But don't diminish the ones who work behind the scenes and make them look like they're the help. Like I hear a mind say that all the time. Oh, y'all don't want us to be on the help. It's okay when we doing your hair, and it's okay when we doing your makeup, and it's okay when we your ghostwriter. How is that being the help? I would rather be the help than the puppet. Because most of y'all are not relevant unless y'all tap dancing for somebody else. You on the camera cooning, trying to get in good with a celebrity who is a puppet for the industry. When puppets meet, y'all need to have a whole puppet community where all of y'all could just come together and do this. We thinking y'all doing the Harlem Shake, y'all really doing the puppet. Let me stop being messy. Ooh. Girl, it be my trauma, girl. It be the trauma for me, girl. Girl, what somebody gonna say? Wait, hold on. I was raised by gay men too. Armand not making sense. A puppet show, right? I would want to be either. We need to be in our own lane in the economy. Exactly. Y'all, girl, stop. Girl, stop. What was that trans woman named Sanaya? Okay. We knew what Tevin Campbell was talking about. We knew what Luther Vandross was talking about. God got his rest, his soul, and power and purpose. I didn't read the article about. Oh, I'm gonna have to see that. I'm gonna. Wait. Come on now, you was on the pill with drag queens, girl, so you know. Like, it's never been. We're not like when I hear that narrative, like I try to respect, what people say, and I try to hear what people saying. But as a person who's gifted to do all things, because I can write my ass off, I've directed already some local plays, my own personal projects. I could dance, I could sing, I could act. I'm not the greatest at any of those things, but I consider myself a jack of all trades and a master of none. Although I do think that I am becoming more of an oracle, like a mistress master. I have to hybrid my words. At being like an oracle, like truth telling, storytelling, poetry, just anything that has to do with that. Like, I think that, and just seeking balance and wholeness and spirituality. So I do feel like there are some things that I have excelled at and that I can actually claim excellence regarding. But I like to do a little bit of everything. Like, I like to sing, I like to write, I like to dance, I like to channel. I call it channeling, not acting, because I don't like to embody roles that I don't feel a genuine connection to. And so, because a lot of people aren't able to move all around and be all over the place, your gift is to stand in front of the camera. Your gift is, but you are not the most important thing. See, that's another thing that I don't like about this patriarchal system and this oppressive system, that we give all the praise to the one in front of the camera. Girl, do you know what it took to get you there? You know how many people had to invest into you, sow energy into you, believe in you, pray for you, lift you up, lay hands on you, weave something, sew something, beat something. You know how much it took to put you out there? And then everybody want to worship this one fucking person. No, that's what's wrong with society. That's what's wrong with society. Yeah, we see Cardi B face, but Cardi B represents millions of people, literally. Cardi B is just the avatar for whatever it is that she's representing. Beyonce is just the avatar for a brand. Jay-Z is just the avatar for a brand. And while I'm on that, let me talk about Wendy Williams. I have to get on that while we here. Now, Wendy Williams is not doing good health-wise right now. Wendy Williams is going through some things. And hearing these bloggers talk about Wendy Williams, I'm about to bring up Armand again. I was listening to him talk about, and I mean, I don't feel like he was reading Wendy, but I feel like how you've done the same thing to people. Like all of y'all was jumping on that Wendy Williams bandwagon. All of y'all wanted to be like her. Like so many of the bloggers and the people who commentate out here today, all of y'all jumped on that Wendy Williams bandwagon. All of y'all was trying to be like her. All of y'all, so many of y'all have built y'all legacy and built y'all career up on dragging for people, shading people, tearing people down. Even when T.S. Madison and Kaya was working together, I didn't follow that. I watched maybe like the first couple of shows, but when they branded it and they started, I stopped following it because it was too much negative energy for me. I wasn't there for it every week like a lot of the girls was. I can tell you, I could count on one hand how many episodes of Wendy Williams I've actually watched because I was never there for that. Because I knew what her fate was. I already knew coming into it, she wasn't going to withstand Oprah's legacy. Now, Oprah done some stuff that I've side-eyed, but Oprah's content, even though it felt like it's always kind of been geared more towards that white dollar, even though it's always felt like it was geared towards that white dollar, Oprah has always put out messages that were whole. You know, Oprah has always tried to uplift her audience. She wasn't just there for the, oh, yes, let's drag, let's talk, let's gossip. You know, that's not Oprah's brand. But so many of these YouTube bloggers, that's your brand. That's what you there for. And now y'all getting a chance to stare at the karma. And don't think that it's just for her. Don't think that it's just for Wendy. Don't think that your day in court's not coming too, sis, brother. You may not know, but I've been rocking with you since I celebrate you go all across the world living your life, Tila Lorraine. And let me tell you something. I had one of my former daughters tell me one time, she was like, it's a shame you not getting your just due. And then I had another one of my girlfriends tell me today, girl, you not gonna be in the line like that, girl. You're not gonna have your season. And one of my other daughters was like, mainstream need to tell your story. Mainstream need to tell your story. Like they told Marsha P's. Like they told Martin Luther King's. Like they told Malcolm X's story when they told you the first part of it, but they didn't really go into detail about what happened to him when he came back from Mecca. They ended his story right there really fast. Like they told Martin Luther King's story when Martin Luther King was working on poor people's campaign. They didn't tell you that part. They just told you about when he was marching for black rights, but they didn't tell you when he realized that the system was screwed. And he said, they didn't elaborate on that when he said, I may have delivered my people into a burning building, which means that the government was already crumbling. And here you is trying to assimilate us into this. They didn't see when the mainstream tell your story, they gonna pick out the parts they want to tell, just like the Bible does. They're going to pick the parts. People always talking about in the Bible how you can't pick the parts. That's what the whole Bible did. A bunch of men sat around and said, we're going to use this book. We're going to use this book. We're not going to use this book. We're not going to use this. So don't tell me I can't pick the parts of the Bible I want to use when y'all pick the parts y'all wanted to put in the Bible. Fuck out my face. The whole Bible, they picked the parts that they wanted to use. The fuck? I feel like it's a chance to get revenge. Oh, child. I mean, this whole thing, child, Oprah ain't never gave birth. Oprah ain't never brought no child here. So, you know, that could be Oprah's sacrifice. That she never gave birth. That she didn't bring anybody here to carry on her legacy. When she dies, all that money going right back to Uncle Sam. Because she don't have no heir. When she die, Uncle Sam gonna find a way to get their hand on all that money. Same way they found a way to get their hand on Whitney Houston money, and Whitney Houston had a child, and Michael Jackson had children that he say that, you know, we ain't got no choice but to go with it. But the government found a way to get their hands on all their money. What make you think they ain't gonna find no way to get their hand on Oprah's? That money borrowed. Tyler Perry ain't got no children. That money borrowed. That money going right back to the good Uncle Sam. Pert. You have a black card, a endless spending account. As long as you tell stories that support the binary, that support patriarchy, long as your work aligns with patriarchy, aligns with white supremacy, because you can put black people in all of these roles. If black people doing the same thing that white people doing in the films and stuff that you're writing, if there's no different in the culture, if it's the same thing dipped in chocolate, sweetheart, what's the sense of giving a black person an opportunity if it's just going to be the same script with a different cast? Like now, they got the Wonder Years with a black boy in it. Of all the stories you could tell, of all the stories you children have the money to tell, y'all keep telling the same stories. Go to church on Sunday and cry and eat at a barbecue and play some spades and drink a 40. Girl, we still doing this. White people around here depicting themselves as gods, and every time you look around, white people, aliens and gods and everything. And the only time a black person is an alien or a god is when we playing in something white people done put together. You ain't never seen no black writers come together, no wealthy black writers. Tyler Perry have not produced nothing with black people as aliens or gods. Our story is, as Massa, this is how our story started. I was in the fields working, and I was working for Massa. And my grandbabies, I worked so hard for my grandbabies. I worked for my grandbabies, and I died, and I swear, and I voted. I voted for the rides for my grand. That's our story. That's it. That's how all our stories start. Ain't nothing. That's all of our stories. When black people tell our stories, that's how they tell our stories. All of our stories start off with, I was or we was African kings and queens. And when you go over there to Africa, when you actually go over there, you find out that they don't get along with each other. That's probably why we ended up in slavery. Because we didn't really like each other. But we ain't gonna have that conversation though, is we? I want to make a transgender Sailor Moon type of movie. It will be the bomb. Okay, now, come on, Sailor Moon. I'm tired of massa stories. Okay. Or the depressed black woman that overcomes the black man, right? Me Too remakes. Nope, they don't like us either. I'm black, right. Right. But you pushing all these African stories down our throats. They barely like each other. Africans are very and this goes for all. I think all human beings are pretty much pack creatures, but it's even deeper when it comes to African people. Like, African people are really herd animals. Like, they really herd beings. Like, they really herd type people. Like, they mess with their own, literally. They ask you, where you from? What's your nationality? These are the questions that they ask you. And that's why I gag them now. I do it to them before they do it to me. Where are you from? What's your nationality? So, yeah. But all of this is, everything is so rooted in patriarchy. Everything is so rooted in, and how are we going to make the changes that need to be made for the next generation to be able to prosper without feeling like I got to work 10 times as hard to get what the white man got. I got to work 10 times as hard. Girl, y'all ain't tired of working 10 times as hard to keep up with the white man? You ain't tired of that yet? Girl, you ain't tired of that narrative yet? Because, girl, we have to work 10 times. Then this another thing that gets me. Because y'all don't vote. And our ancestors died for the right to vote. Our ancestors, they died for you to have the right to vote. Do you know how many of our ancestors died because they did not want to participate in this at all? Do you know how many of our ancestors died because they didn't want to be a part of this government? They did not want to be a part of this. But we only want to give glory and praise and honor to the ones who said, hey, sign me up. I'm going to be in the army. Sign me up. I want to vote. Sign me up. I want to live the American dream. So we only going to highlight those in Black History Month. Them the only ones we're going to talk about. The ones who contributed to American society. But we're not going to talk about the countless deeply melanated bodies that fell defending our culture as it was, defending our Aborigines and indigenous ways. We're not going to have that conversation, huh? So when they start talking about, oh, you know how many people died for you to have the right to vote? You know how many people died so we wouldn't have to? That's why I say your ancestors sleep, mine's tossing and turning. When they say rest in peace, child, mine's ain't sleep. Mine's watching everything like a hawk. Right. 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 I'm still trying to understand why we still, but see, this is the reason why we stayed though, Nova. This Novana. This is the reason why some of our ancestors stayed. Because a lot of our ancestors were here before the slave ships came. See, when we do those DNA tests, this is what you have to understand. They're going to tell you that you came from West Africa. They're going to tell you that you came from somewhere in Africa. But remember, We all came from somewhere over there. Like the way they got these tests set up is to recognize if you have a dominance of Caucasian blood, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna pick up the indigenous. Hey, hold on. Is it playing? Okay. They're not gonna tell you. They're not going to tell you about your Caucasian. They're not going to tell you about your Choctaw. They're not going to tell you about all the tribes that were in America that were dark skinned. Because, see, our ancestors have been making trips across the Atlantic for thousands of years. They were already here. When Columbus got here, Columbus said it. He saw people of all different colors. Yeah, it should be picking back up. It told me that it was breaking up for a second. It gave me the little note. But we were already here. We were legitimately already here. Like so many of us was already here. Like when Columbus got here, he saw chocolate people, he saw all type of people already here. I'm telling you, like we was here already. Yeah, Africans came over on slave ships and they bred with us. And see, that's why I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That's why I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I'm not here for it. That's why I don't celebrate it. But I've learned to stop judging. Right, Turtle Island. I've learned to stop judging. I was doing some research on the Choctaw tribe, and the Choctaw tribe is supposed to be connected to the city of Atlantis and this ancient place called Lemuria. And it's so interesting that I have a spirituality that's called Leylem Leyler. And there was a time when there was a plane on this planet that was called Lemuria, and it's just Leylem Leyler Lemuria. Like it just feels like it's a connection for me. But yeah, you have to Google that. Like I be Googling stuff. Like I be going down a rabbit hole with my little research girl. But yeah, like, and you know, we're taught that the Atlanteans was like these real pale people, but the Atlantean people, there are different stories. There are different stories, girl. They was kissed by the sun, girl, in some accounts. So, girl, we hear that they was pale, just like we hear that the mer people, you know, supposed to be pale. And in order to be a mermaid, you have to be, because, you know, I believe in underwater creatures. I definitely think that just like the planet is 3 parts water, and there's so much of the water that we have not discovered and we have not searched, I definitely can believe that there's an advanced civilization of sea creatures under the water who are super intelligent, and they don't want to be bothered, you know. But I think if we continue to pollute the water, I think when that pollution reaches them, I think that's when it's going to be an issue. I think once we have cluttered this world up enough, we waiting for life to come from out the sky, honey. But honey, something gonna raise up out them seas, baby. We worried about something coming from them stars, honey. Something gonna raise up out that water. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it, honey. Because I love the water, sweetheart. I love the water. I'm here for it, honey. When that big old whatever it is, honey, when it raised up out that water, I'm gonna be like, yes, God got this, yes. I would be like, come through, God got this. And if it want to eat me, I would be like, eat me, baby, so I could be a part of you, honey. Because I want to be on the right side, honey. If you need to go ahead and have a snack, because goodness knows I done ate enough seafood. I done had enough shrimp, enough lobster, enough crab, enough fish. Baby, here I come. I'm a sacrifice. Go eat me up, God got it. Let me be a part of you. So we could go ahead and wreak havoc on these children. Get these children together. I'll be a snack for the God Goddess. I will be a snack for the God Goddess, honey. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, honey. I will be a snack, honey. Because, that's how I look at communion anyway. When we eat things, sacrifice. Come on, sacrifice. Come on, sacrifice. I will be a sacrifice, baby, for the God Goddess, baby. Not for that other foolishness, but I will be a sacrifice for the God Goddess, baby, yes. Girl, wait a minute, hold on. Girl, let me see. Girl, okay. Girl, we got the girl. You got the girl. You have your. And my grandmother used to always say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Girl, and I was looking at this post one of my cousins wrote, and she was like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I just want to make love and make good memories. And my response to that was, love is war. You can't love something without being willing to go to war for it. Helen of Troy was the face that launched 1,000 ships. Cleopatra and Mark Antony, look at what their love started. Romeo and Juliet, their houses were feuding and beefing between each other. When you love something, undoubtedly you're willing to go to war for it, because that's what tests the depths of the love. How do you know someone loves you if they ain't willing to go to war for you? So love is war. That's what I teach my children when we're doing art classes together, my little godsons. Love is war. They the same thing. Because when you love something, you will go to war for it. I used to wouldn't wear the color red because I felt like the color red incited violence. I love the color red now because I'm whole. And I know that we cannot exist in a reality that doesn't know how to create space for chaos. Chaos is the conduit for creation. It all started with a bang. So if you're a scientific person, you understand it all started with a bang. So we have to be able to create space for chaos. We have to be able to create, everything can't always be in order. Everything can't always run smoothly. Sometimes there's going to be some slip ups. Sometimes everything not going to go off without a hitch. So you have to have the capacity, the patience, the wherewithal, and the mental bandwidth to create space for chaos. But you also have to take care of yourself. Self-care is very important. But chaos is the conduit for creation. So chaotic people, many times some of the most chaotic people are the most entertaining, they're the most fun, they're the most exciting, they're the most spontaneous. They just give us life, literally. Chaotic people. But it has to be a balance. You can't be chaotic all the time. And that's the problem with this reality. That's the problem with the binary, is that we're existing now in a world of extremes. Either you just want to be this order-based person and you just want order all the time, or you just want chaos all the time. No, sweetheart, learn how to have order with a little chaos, or learn how to have a little order with your chunk of chaos. But learn how to balance it. Don't just be in chaos all the damn time. Don't just live in a world where everything is order. A little chaos keeps life exciting. But we don't have the capacity to understand that in this patriarchal society, because the patriarch condemns everything that does not have order. It condemns chaos. So there's this whole cavity there, this whole cavern of ourselves, this whole part of our being that is dormant, that we haven't studied, that we don't understand, that we don't know how to make space for, because it's been demonized. So we just suppress it, and we create this polarizing extreme version of ourselves. I'm tired of living in a reality with all of these extreme polarities, because I'm of the mind that suppression creates perversion. When you suppress a part of yourself for too long, it creates a perversion. It creates an extreme. The octopus is the smartest sea creature. I love them, watching them, but I believe there are more deeper miles under. I have an affinity for octopuses too. I love octopuses too. I do. And I think that octopuses are super intelligent. And I do think that that being that raised up out that water might look something like an octopus. I have fantasized about that. I thought dolphins were the smartest, second to humans. And I've heard that too. That dolphins were like, because dolphins have that telepathic ability. So I don't know. Is the dolphin smarter than the octopus? Because I have heard that as well. Okay, smarter creatures. The smarter creatures are deeper. Yeah, because they ancient. That I learned about the water is the deeper that you live in the water, the sun speeds up our aging cycle. And so the closer that the sun moves to the earth, or the closer that we move to the sun, how it's happening, we don't know. But the sun causes things to age, and the sun speeds up life cycles. Do you know that there are entities that live in the bottom of the ocean that are literally thousands of years old because the sun is not aging them? There are entities living in the ocean that are literally thousands of years old because the sun is not aging them. Can you imagine what having that type of consciousness, like where you've been around, like you just unbothered by so much, like you could sit still for 100 years, not even need to move, open your mouth and eat food as it's passing. Oof, child, I'm just so infinite. Get into it. Child, I'm hungry. Just to chomp down like 18,000 little fish, little bitty a group of fish, honey. You just open your mouth, honey, and just feed yourself, honey, and just go back to perching. You ain't got to eat no more for another 100 years, girl. You just open your mouth every 100 years, girl, and just chew up, you know what I'm saying, a whole school of fish, girl, and just take that 100 years, girl, to just be processing that, girl. Okay, trees, honey, they live a long time too. They live a long time too. But trees, baby, they're the epitome of be still and know. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the Marine Kingdom. Is the octopus. Wait, blah, blah, blah. The octopus is, I thought the dolphin was down here in Florida. I see them in pods. They are so beautiful. But the owls are my favorite. They are quiet and swift. Yes, trees tell a story and see very much. I love trees. I'm a tree hugger. I hug trees. I talk to trees. Trees are my friends. I love trees. I'm telling you, I love trees. Like I always say in my reincarnation, I want to be four different entities simultaneously. I want to be a tree, a big tree that sits in the middle of a village of my tribe. Um, I want to be a bird, some type of dragon, some type of flying entity. And I want to be some type of water creature. And I want to be able to take human form maybe once or twice a year. But for the most part, I'll be the tree. Like it's like I'll be having four different experiences simultaneously. So I'll be a bird animal, I'll be a bird creature, I'll be a water creature, I'll be a tree, and I'll be, whatever evolution of humanity. So I want to be four different things in my next creation. And one of them is going to be a tree, a fruit bearing tree that sits in the middle of the village, honey. And once a year, I want to take on human form, honey, so I can mingle amongst the people. And the way it is. Once a year, I want to take on a form, honey, where I can come lay up and have. Then I'm gonna go back into my other forms, honey. I'm gonna go back to being the tree, the water creature, and the arm bird or the dragon. Let me see. Okay, some type of I want to be a panther. Girl, I wanted to be a panther when I was a child. Owls warn me when someone is about to pass away. I used to be scared. I then embraced my fear. Yeah, because it's just transition. This reality teaches us to fear death, but death is a part of life. I truly get aggravated when I hear people say things like, you only got one life to live. Don't bind yourself to that way of thinking. Like, don't bind yourself to that way of thinking. The human body is 3 parts water, and water never dies. It just changes forms. So 3/4 of me is just going to continue to change forms. Just like water, it has the different stasis and places. So if you can't gather this idea about your soul, and water holds memory. Water, we learned that in watching what's the name of that movie about the white girls, the princesses? Ella, what's her name? Let it go, and let it go. The cold never bothered me anyway. What is that? What was the name of that? But yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Um, they taught us about water retaining memory. So, water has memory. That's why when you have tea, when you let it boil, you're supposed to let it cool down. Yes, frozen. You're supposed to let it, cool down, because when you digest water in a state where it's like, where it's traumatized, because the water when it's boiling, it's not in the form that it normally is. Like, even though there are some places where the water naturally boils, because they have the springs where the water be like super hot. So but that's a temperature in which this water, I think um we naturally matriculate or gather in those things that speak to us. So I think that hot water springs, like, it's something in their memory that relates to being in a warm or a hot climate. And I think that goes with all of us. People matriculate where they fit in at. So, but like when you're boiling water in a cup, this water may have not always been like that, and so the water is disturbed right now. So you're supposed to wait till the water cools and wait till the water, they call that process steeping, but you're supposed to wait until everything just kind of like calms down, and then consume, and then commune with the water. But water retains memory, and we're 3 parts water. So the water to me is our divine blood. I just feel like, some of us are connected directly by blood, but there's also divine blood. There's also this divine connection that brings us all together, and that's breath and that's water. Depending on your birth sign, you're probably at one like me with nature. Calms me down. I love water. Yeah, I'm a Gemini with a Cancer rising. So like my birthday is June the 18th. So yeah, I'm Gemini, but really, really close to Cancer. So definitely have an affinity for water because Cancer is a water sign. And then Gemini is an air sign. So, breath and water, breathing and water, those things are, I remind people all the time, Chael, when you get too motherfucking high, when you be high, and I'm not talking about high off no weed, I'm talking about high off some other stuff. You have to remind yourself, breathe. That's so important. Like a lot of people, they take our, we take our breath for granted, but breathe, chill, take you some deep breath, girl, calm you down. That'll help you to slow down, that will help you to slow down. That'll help you to say, okay, I think I've done enough of this. I think I want to stop for right now. I'm going through so much behind his passing. Wait a minute. My husband recently passed November 23rd, 2019. He's still with me, RIP. He's also from New Orleans. I'm going through so much behind his passing. I can't call on my community. They only care if I get killed or if they can capitalize in some way. Child, Sanaya, you better say that, girl. You better say that. The gatekeepers don't care, honey, unless it's over your dead body, baby. They ain't trying to center these men. And see, I'm finna say something that's slightly problematic. I used to like Troy Kennedy. I haven't followed Troy Kennedy in a long time. Me and Troy, fell out a couple of years ago. And I just think about when Diamond Styles just unleashed Troy on the trans community, because we were introduced to this man by way of Diamond Styles. And I tell you, she really did a doozy with that one. I just feel like I have love for my trans attracted brothers. I have love for my trans attracted brothers, but I just feel like there's a better way to do this than having to center yourself by latching on to this season, and trying to center yourself in it. You didn't need a title, you just need to be who you are, be whole, you know what I'm saying? Be bisexual, be gay, be straight, but just be yourself, and I just feel like trans people have been getting murdered, Black women have been getting murdered, and all of this is about, our connection to our foremothers, and I think that trans attracted men need to just acknowledge and own the fact that they also have a connection to their foremothers, and that conversation needs to strengthen instead of making justifications for the feminine ways you have within your manhood, like still trying to uphold the patriarchy and get that nod of approval from your brother. Like, no, I am in tune with my foremothers. I have a connection to my foremothers. I'm attracted to trans women, a lot of them, because they've made peace with their connection to their foremothers. They've embraced that. And that draws me to them. That makes me want to be closer to them. They're my teachers. They're my lovers. They're my friend. Like, get you some dialogue that is not justifying patriarchy and that's not justifying the toxicness of the binary system. And then maybe you might have a fan in me again. But until then, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. It's a pass. So, I just feel like the trans attracted movement could have been so much better if these people wouldn't have tried to center themselves And unfortunately, a lot of, the men who love us, they die and they don't get no attention, they don't get no respect. So, my heart goes out to you, Sanaya, for that, because there are some good ones. There are some good ones. I'm talking to a decent one now. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend who I'm talking to, I really care about. I like him, and he's not a part of the trans attracted movement, although they have been trying to get him to be a part of it. They have been trying to get him to be a part of the trans attracted movement, but he has not joined it. Thank God, Goddess, because if he had, I don't know if I would want to deal with him. I don't know if I want to be tied to that. I don't know if I have that capacity right now or that mental bandwidth. Except for my dad. Thought it's like hocus pocus. I told my mama that every time the owls would hoot. Oh my goodness. Baby, y'all is sharing some really good stuff. I like this. This is so healing. Um, Very loudly, someone is going. Mama's reaction was she believed me. She saw a big, beautiful owl on her satellite dish in the daylight. Rare a day later, cousin passed in surgery. Wow. That's very intuitive, girl. Wait, I'm calling you girl. Hold on, Elijah. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, then well, Elijah, give me some pronouns because I don't want to be give me some pronouns, Elijah. I think because my dad's deep south upbringing, he associated it with the devil. Child, they associate everything with the devil. But God is nature. That's his first work. Right. God is everything. God is everything. God is everything. I only smoke weed, but I want to try some shrooms to commune with my beloved departed. Girl, let me tell you about shrooms. Girl, I am not here to promote shrooms. Don't do no whole lot of them. Don't do a whole lot of them. Microdosing. But microdosing is not going to give you hallucinations. You're going to have to chew about 5 or 6 of them. But do 2 for about 15, 20 minutes. Wait, maybe about 2, maybe 15, 20 minutes, then another 2, maybe another 20 minutes, then do another 2. So consume them within the hour so that it won't be like do 2, 2, 2, and within the hour, then when you start to hallucinate, it won't be like it'll gradually come up on you. Because I've done them. I started trying mushrooms last year when I got back from Africa. And baby, when I tell you can get the wrong kind though, because mushrooms make you want to super indulge. So doing too many mushrooms, anything that you're doing, you're going to want to do more of it. If you're eating, you're going to want to eat more. If you drinking, you're going to want to drink more. If you smoking weed, you're going to smoke more. If you fucking, you're going to want to fuck. It makes everything better. Food tastes better. Alcohol hit different, hit better. Weed feel better, sex feel better. It intensifies everything. The sky looks prettier, the flowers look prettier, the grass look prettier, you look prettier. Just everything just be more intense. So don't sit around and eat no bucket of mushrooms. Get you a pack, maybe get you a 40, 50 pack. Chew you about 2 every 20 minutes. You be to chew about 8 in 2 hours, and you be. eye to open. Damn third eye to open on the cherry. Ooh, I remember when she interviewed him. I have so much to unpack. Yes, girl. Thank you. He is good. He made mistakes, but he was a good man. He was my best friend. And I introduced him to your videos. Oh, we was together 15 years. And thank you. Oh, 15 years. Wow. I wish we could chat like Bigo. Listens intently about truth. Did you see the spirit realm? That's my problem. I overindulge in sipping my wine down. Shit, my third eye been open since middle school. I was woke before. Okay, and before it was a word. And the thing about the spirit realm is everything becomes spiritual. Like, the spirit realm is here. And there's levels to being woke. Because when we first get woke, it be like we be woke on the black shit. We be woke on racism. We be woke on that. But it's levels to even being woke. Like, and when you first wake up, you be angry all the time. You be mad because you see some stuff you really didn't want to have to pay attention to. Then you have to start standing on principle and having convictions. That's why they say ignorance is bliss. But when you've been woke for a certain amount of time, you realize that some things just are the way they are, and it's a sucker born every minute, and you can't stop people from being suckers. You can't stop people from being hustled. This is how people learn. You learn from your mistakes. So we're not here to save everybody. You're not here to save everybody. Like, we're not here for that. Like, some people, they want to play the game. They want their chance to be the oppressor. They want their opportunity to sit at the table with the gatekeepers and all of that. Yeah, you basically surrender. So you it's like, okay, it is what it is. Let me just do what I could do, to take care of me and mine. Let me just do what I could do to look out for my tribe. But on a spiritual level, when you really wake up, you realize, because the spirits speak to me in different ways. And like sometimes I might have a vision. Sometimes like literally, I have smoked weed before. I don't know. Like, I've literally been smoking weed, and this typically happens to me when I'm smoking so much, or I'm using something to induce a sleep where I don't have visions. So, like, a lot of times, because I have insomnia, I'll take Benadryls to help me go to sleep, and the Benadryl also helps me with my skin, with my skin problems, because every now and then when the weather is changing, I'll start to have like some skin challenges. And so I'll take Benadryl to induce a sleep, or I'll take marijuana to induce a sleep. And if I consistently induce deep sleeps too often, then what will happen is in some point in the day, I'll go into a trance. And I mean, like, literally, I'll be like a That's So Raven moment. I haven't had a trance in a long time. I don't think I've went into a trance since 2000. And I think the reason why I don't go into trances anymore is because I'm just like communing. Like I start to see visions clearly in the course of the day. And I've done so much work with like creating a reality where I never forget where I came from. I think because when I was little, I used to have dreams all the time that the devil was chasing me. That was one of my first dreams, that the devil was chasing me, that this dark entity was chasing me. Now, mind you, the first image that I ever drew when I was a child, and it's actually on my wall right here. That angel and the devil kissing right there. It's a devil and an angel kissing right there. I drew that when that was one of the first images that I drew as a child. And and so I always had an affinity. I have an affinity for mermaids too. I have an affinity for mermaids and unicorns, and I have an affinity for the angel and the devil kissing each other. Even when I was a child, that was one of the first images that when I was 5 years old, I used to always draw the angel kissing the first time they let us draw in the class, I drew an angel kissing the devil. So I always felt that evil had a relationship with good. I've always felt there was a connection. Even before I could read the Bible, even before I got into the church like that, I always felt there was a connection between God and the devil, or goddess and the devil, or evil and good. So when I would dream at night, when I started to study the Bible, because the Bible was corrupting my spirituality, demonizing my wholeness, demonizing my chaos, demonizing my femininity, because a lot of times chaos is looked at as a feminine attribute. In the Bible, when they blame Eve for the fall of man, and also there's a goddess in, I think, Greek or Roman mythology whose name is Eris, and Eris is called the goddess of discord, which is also the goddess of chaos. So chaos is often considered a feminine attribute. So, women are considered chaotic. So the Bible was programming me as a child to demonize my chaos, to demonize my femininity. And so it created in the spirit realm, which is the dream world, or when we start to vision, because it can happen during the daytime. You don't have to be sleeping. I started to envision myself running from the devil. So in the dream, I was this angelic entity. You know how the angelic entity is always something wearing white and something glowing and something lit, something, well lit and glowing and soft. And, and so the dark side of myself was black and red, and it was red fire around it, and it was like a shadowy entity. So I'm running from this entity in my dreams at night until I learned how to control my dreams. I learned how to control my dreams as a child. But before that, I would run and go and jump into bed with my grandmother and my grandfather. Now, mind you, that dream of me running from that dark or that demonic spirit followed me up until after I had my sex change. And for a long time, I self-medicated through marijuana and weed to keep myself from having dreams. Like I would drink, I would drink a glass of wine and smoke a blunt so I could go in such a deep sleep I wouldn't remember my dreams. But in 2015, about almost a year after I had my sex change, I started down a deeper spiritual journey. I started down, this journey of really, 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 really like digging into wholeness. Although I've said before, wholeness has always been my platform. Wholeness, when I first started New Legacy, it was the place where spirituality and sexuality became one. So wholeness has always been there. I just didn't have the language to articulate it as well as I can now. But I really, really started to dig into wholeness when like I told y'all about that situation when I was on a block prostituting on a female host role, and I realized that this violence wasn't specifically towards trans women. It was a violence that women had been enduring, biological, cis, whatever you want to call it. They had been enduring this. So I started to, the scales came out of my eyes, and I really, really was paying attention, and I really, really wanted to not be someone who was looked at as a trans advocate or a Black trans advocate, but I wanted to be a human advocate. I wanted to be a champion for women's rights and for women overall. Like when I got my sex change, it really just expanded, my worldview as it regards the plight of so many women and so many feminine beings in this reality. So anyway, I started to have those dreams again. I started to have the dreams where I was fighting with this evil spirit again. And one day, and this happened, so when I started to have the dreams again, I started to self-medicate because I had stopped self-medicating, so I was dreaming vividly again. So I started that heavy medication again. And in 2017, no, this was 2016. It might have been the end of 2015. It might have been I think it was 2015. Yep. I started. Yep. I was with my brother Antron. My Brister Antron. I call Antron Brister because that's my brother's sister. Antron passed away in 2017. Antron had cancer, but Antron also lived with HIV. But it was the cancer ultimately that called Antron home to be with the ancestors or to the next part of the journey. So I was at Antron's house and I was cleaning the kitchen. I was cleaning the house because, Antron's brilliant, could do anything. I mean, Antron could sing, Antron could dance, Antron could write books, Antron could edit, Antron could produce. Antron wrote a play one time, and that's how I met India.Arie, because India.Arie came to see one of Antron's plays. So I was crazy about Antron. I loved Antron. We met in 2006, and we created a lot of beautiful art together. So I was at Antron's house, and we was working on a project, and Antron was a Taurus. So I don't know if I was channeling Antron or what was going on, but I had a vision, and in the vision, I stopped running from the dark entity. In the vision, the dark entity was coming. I was wearing white, like literally, I was in the kitchen washing dishes, and I was wearing all white. And my body kept growing, and the world was being destroyed, and my body kept growing, and I was wearing this white, and it was moving everywhere like that, and my body kept growing, and my body kept getting bigger, and my body kept getting bigger until it was like outside of the earth, and this dark force that I would typically run from was coming at me. And when it came at me, we swirled around and merged, and we went inside this cocoon, and the world continued to catch fire, and the world continued to burn. And then after the world finished burning, we came out of the cocoon as one entity, this big old beautiful dragon looking bird, and we flew over the earth, and we repopulated it from our womb, and life just started to regenerate itself all over the planet. So that was when I realized that thing that I was running from was just as much me. That was me. That was a part of me. That was the other half of me. That was my balance. That was my wholeness. That was what I needed to recreate and start over. That's what I needed. Like, and I did not have that vision until 2015. So fast forward to 2017, I'm in Pennsylvania at a retreat, and I'm painting the vision. So I think I had painted some pieces of it, but I'm painting that final sequence of the vision. Imagine while I'm painting the painting of the vision that I had when I was at Antron's house, Antron is in the hospital dying. So it's interesting, like you said about the owl, representing someone passing. I'm painting a picture of this enormous bird, this enormous dragon-sized bird with these beautiful black wings and flying over a planet, repopulating it. And Antron was passing while I was doing that. So that was like confirmation. It was like almost like Antron was saying, what you visioned was real, because I was connected with Antron both times. When I had the vision the first time, I was in Antron's house washing his dishes. The second time I painted it, Antron was passing. So there was a telepathic connection. There was something that was being channeled both times. So, what I take from that, and what I've taken from that sense, and I have not delineated from that understanding, is that wholeness is so important. Understanding that we are the bitter and the sweet. We are the lemon and the honey. We are chaos and order. We are left and right. We are nothing and everything. We are sovereign and human, or sovereign and peasant. Like I'm all things. To some people, I'm everything, and to others, I'm nothing. And I understand that. To some people, I'm bitter. To other people, I'm sweet. I'm all things. So just learning how to understand that and accept that, and just make space, for that within your own being, making, and learning to understand yourself, and doing that work of understanding yourself, so that we can be better stewards for other people to move in their wholeness. And this was the way of our ancestors. This was what they knew, and a lot of them still know it, and a lot of them still practice it. They just become so advanced in it that you don't see it when they're doing it. They tell us to behave a certain way and place certain expectations on us that they don't adhere to themselves. Know thyself. That's the most important thing. Know thyself. Know who you are, So, and all of this ranting and rambling that I have been doing for I don't know how long, because I feel like this is the longest live that I've done in a minute. Oh, look, almost 2 hours, like for real. Because I'll never stay on live this long. Normally, I'll be off at around 119, 120. I'm here. So, I really have enjoyed the backwards and forwards, the dialogue, just the storytelling and sharing. This is all a part of nation building, tribe building, a man, a woman, Layla, Layla. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to get off this live because I'm getting a little hungry now. The smoothie ain't getting it no more. Where is my smoothie? Girl, is she about gone anyway? Oh, but that's so good though. I love it. Yeah, at the beginning of the video, I told y'all this was and that's why I said red color. See, it's red up in there because I got beets up in there. I like beets. I eat a beet once a week. I eat a raw beet once a week. I try to eat 2 raw beets a week. I like my beets. Give me a beet. Let me stop. But I like my ginger. I like my turmeric. I have to have that in my tea. I use some banana peel sometimes in my tea. But I love my ginger. I love my turmeric. I love my beets. I love my kale. Yeah, but the way to make them taste better is add like banana, pineapple, like add some type of sweet fruit, you know. If you're not ready for the big leagues and you're not ready to just eat that beet how that beet is, get you a half a pineapple, honey, when you're making up your smoothie, and take half a pineapple and chop it up in there, because that turmeric can be very strong. Ginger tends to be a little spicy. It kind of gives you a little, you know, not a spicy like a hot sauce spicy, but it is spicy. You know, it is a little spicy. But turmeric tends to have like a really aggressive taste too, and beets have an aggressive taste too. So you want to complement them with like a really sweet fruit, maybe like a mango, maybe like some banana, maybe like a couple of apples, because you know apples don't always be sweet, but if you use a couple of apples, you know, you can really kind of like transform the taste. So yeah, but I try to eat, you know, 2 beets a week. I try to have me I try to introduce, you know, buy me a little thing of kale, a little some kale, and I try to, you know, blend that up in my smoothies too. Eat my greens in my smoothies, because I haven't been eating as many salads as I should. Like I haven't been like really salady, but I love fruit though. Like if I ain't gonna eat nothing else, I'm gonna eat some fruit. But you gotta taste all the fruits and drink all the wine. Mae West said that you gotta taste all the fruits. You gotta drink all the wine. Yeah, I love me some fruit and wine. But the vegetables just been tasting funny, you know. And I don't know, maybe it's the medication for the nothingness that makes me not want to take, you know, eat vegetables. But child, I don't be really like eating vegetables as much, because I used to love vegetables. I don't know, maybe I'm a little drained on vegetables. But yeah. But I eat still pretty decent, you know, but I eat, because I'm not really like no big like pizza and hamburger and hot dog type person. It's like I get a craving for a slice of pizza. Like I really love seafood. Like that's what girl, if I had $1 for every time I ate shrimp, that's why I said if a sea creature ever come out the water and want to eat me, I'm gonna be like, because girl, I love shrimp. Woo! I love me some sea roaches. Because you know they call them the roaches at sea. I love some sea roaches and some pizza. Now I don't eat pizza all the time. I used to love pizza. I used to love pizza, but I don't eat pizza a lot because of New York. Because, you know, dairy fucks with your sinuses. You know, for a lot of black people, they say dairy fucks with our sinuses. So I have to watch my cheese intake. Because a girl like cheese, but I have to watch my cheese intake. I can't eat cheese. Like I can't just be cheese. Put cheese on it. Give me some cheese. And if I do get cheese, I try to get the bougie cheese. I try to get the aged cheese. I don't want no American cheese. I don't want no processed cheese. I want some monster cheese. I want some cheese that got some age on it. Give me the real cheese. Mm-mm. I don't do the orange slices. Let me out. We don't do the orange slices over here. We don't eat orange slices, baby. Give me some old cheese, baby. I like my cheese old. Thank you. I want some old cheese, baby. That lady said she probably was a rat or a mouse in her pants. Like, girl, I love cheese too, girl, but I gotta have some old cheese, girl. Give me some Swiss. Give me some Monster. Give me some aged cheese. Thank you. But y'all, let me light this candle because I'll be on here for 2 hours talking to you. This was a good one. This was a pretty good one. This is on. I don't know what I had. I think this is some type of mint, lavender mint or something I got going on here. A lavender mint incense. So we're going to light this candle to guide our ancestors home who have transitioned this world today and every other day since we've been away from our altar. When I do it, I try to make the infinity symbol when I'm like putting out my incense. And like sometimes I get it. Like this girl's still lit. This girl was still lit. This girl didn't want to go out. Boy, girl, don't do that. Stop being disobedient. Yeah, but this really do smell good though. It smells really good. Oh, I normally be trying to light my candles with incense, but sometimes I be lazy, child, and I just light them with the lighter. But I be wanting my spiritual practice be to light an incense every time I light the candle, you know. But yeah, we light this candle to guide home the ancestors who've transitioned this realm today and every other day since we've been away from our altars. As this light diminishes on the physical plane, it increases on the spiritual plane, guiding our ancestors on to the next part of the journey. Amen, a woman, lelim lelar. This candle represents past, present, and future, the true Trinity. For we are a people of the past, we are a people of now, and we are a people who will come. And so I acknowledge all of the ancestors, the ones that I agree with and the ones that I don't agree with, the ones that I understand and the ones that I don't understand, because everything helps us to learn and become, and we have to acknowledge even those things that trigger us, even those things that make us uncomfortable in order for us to create a more whole and complete version of ourselves. Living in a society that is not just linear, where we just always looking straight ahead, but we are being more aware of everything that's going on around us and how we connect with that. Amen, a woman. So yeah, this candle is for our ancestors, the ones on the physical plane, the ones on the spiritual plane. This candle is for your partner who has passed on. This candle is for our loved ones who have died because of HIV, who have died because of violence, who have died because of ignorance, and who just left because they was ready to go. Amen, a woman. So this light burns for you, and when we blow it out, it strengthens on another plane. Amen, a woman. Down manananda raseku, it keeps spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko, Kalukalo, which means I'm a child of God goddess. And if I am, then you know you are. I love y'all. Until next time, later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It ain't much left.